Hi friends, Naji here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. We are continuing a discussion with Landgraph, and in this video we will be discussing on tools. So we know that LLM models are interacting with the users and users can ask questions and based on its knowledge or based on some RAG, the LLM model will return the response back to the user. But sometimes the LLM model has to call some external outside world to get the answers. For example, it may have to call some APIs or REST API to get some answers, or it has to call some databases to get the result from the databases to give back to the users. So tools will help us to do the same. So in both cases, I mean whenever we call a REST API or whenever you call a database call, there should be some kind of a structure that the APIs will follow, right? Consider if it is a REST API, then it will have a request or request body will be there, or it may have some kind of a response structure also will be there. So the tools must understand, or the model must understand, based on the context it must understand the structure of the data, and it has to call the tools. Okay, so there are few key topics that we need to discuss. One is we will be discussing on tool creation, and tool creation will be we'll be using a at the rate tool, a decorator, to define a function as a tool. Okay, and a tool is associated with a function and its schema. So once the tool is created, okay, so we need to bind the tool with the our LLM model. Then only like LLM model knows, okay, if some context is happening, it has to call this tool, right? For that we have to bind the tool with the LLM model. Then once the LLM or once the tool is bind with the LLM model, then based on the context the LLM model will decide which tool it has to call. Okay, then once the tool is decided, we need to execute the tool. So that these are the key concepts that we are going to discuss in this video. Okay, so let's let's open our Visual Studio Code, and we can we will see how can we do how can we create or how can we understand the basic concepts. Okay, for that first let me create an OpenAI model. So here I have OpenAI. I can import a chat OpenAI. Okay, so now let me create a chat model. So I have already have my OpenAI key in the .env file, and that's why I am directly giving that. Otherwise, like you can create your own API key and you will able to directly give the API key here. Okay, so fine, I think that's very simple. Now we can define a tool. For that I can import tool from the Langchain core. So let me define a function that is multiply. Here I will be taking the two input, one is A and one is B, both are integer, and I am returning a integer, right? And here we have to specify the doc string. Okay, so let me so let me add some definitions to this function. Okay, so the function must define, okay, multiply A and multiply two numbers A and B. So this is mandatory. Then only like LLM model will understand about the context of this function, right? And here I can say that I have arguments. I can say it's a which is integer, right? It's the first integer. B, it is a second integer. Okay, it is better to give like details as much as possible. Then it is very easy for the LLM to decide or LLM to understand about tools. So in return is the result after multiplying A and B. Okay, so this is my function, and I'm going to make it as a tool. So I'm going to add a decorator called tool. Okay, then this function will become a tool. Now let me return A into B. Fine. Now we have our tool is ready. Okay, now the second step is we can bind the tool with the LLM model. Okay, for that let me create model with tools. It's very simple. I already have the model. Now I can mention that bind tools. Okay, so let me bind the tools, and my tool name is multiply. Okay, now we can just call this, invoke this model. So I can call invoke method, and let me make a hi. Okay, so whenever I make a call hi, so it says that hello, how can I assist you, right? So there is no tool call is happening. Now let me make a result. Okay, I can make a model call with tools. Spelling is wrong, but it's fine. Now let me invoke it, and I can say that multiple or multiply 10 and 20. Okay, so this is my question. Okay, we'll see the result. Okay, so here we can see the content is empty. Okay, I can make one more thing, tool calls, right? Tool underscore calls. Okay, so this is identify. So the LLM model is identify. Okay, this is my tool, right? So it is correctly identify. We have to call this multiply function or multiply tool, right? That's why its content is empty. Now what we can do, we can try to execute this tool. For that, what I can do, I can simply loop through the calls. Okay, result dot tool calls. Okay, so here we need to select a tool. So you can make a selected tool. Okay, so multiply and here I can make a tool call. Name dot lower. Okay, so what will happen is that, okay, here we have the multiplier, right? So this will iterate. So sometimes we will have a more than one tool, right? So we need to identify which tool that we need to call. For that, we will be selecting the tool call. Okay, so this will be selecting a tool call dot name. So we will get the multiply, and if it is true, then the selected tool result will be multiplied. So let me print it. I will show you the result. So here selected tool. Okay, now let me execute it. See, here we can see the selected tool is multiplied. So that's why we are using this particular method. Okay, so this is very easy to understand. Now what we can do, we can invoke the tool result. Now I can invoke the tool. So here I can invoke. Okay, here I can pass the tool call. Now let me print the result here. Tool call. So let me execute it. Okay, maybe let me add one more thing. Print. I can say just adding some separators here. Okay, here we can see after the execution, we can see that it is the argument that is sorry, this should be tool result. My mistake. Let me have this. Let me execute this. Okay, so here we can see that after executing, the result is 200 because we are trying to multiply with 10 and 20. Okay, then it is giving some function name. Okay, and here we have the tool ID also. So in this way we can easily create a tool, and we can integrate with the LLM model, and we can call the tools. So that is all about in this video. So in our coming videos we can discuss more about tools, and we can see how can we integrate the tool with the land graph. So that's it. Please do like and subscribe. Have a nice day. Bye bye.